Welcome to the Deconditioning Lab podcast, where we experiment with deconditioning in human design. I'm Nicole G., psychologist and human design guide, and if you've ever understood your human design chart intellectually and still felt stuck living it, you're in the right place. Welcome to the show. Before we jump into my step-by-step framework for deconditioning, I want to be honest about why I created one in the first place and why you might not even need a deconditioning framework at all. When I first began experimenting with human design, deconditioning felt like I was trying to grab smoke. I understood the ideas, but my daily life felt extremely messy, emotional, and unpredictable. I would spend hours journaling and taking notes, studying my chart, and trying to quote unquote get it right, only to end up more in my head than in my body. And so many of my clients have told me exactly the same thing. I know what deconditioning is, but how do I actually do it? So, my Alive framework for deconditioning is my answer to this question, and I created it after guiding other people through the process of moving from awareness of their human design chart to more embodiment of their chart. So, this framework is designed to make what feels like something that's invisible, the deconditioning process, to feel more tangible and doable. The framework can also be used to help you orient yourself for where you are in your own deconditioning process. But here's also a very important truth. You really don't need a step-by-step framework to decondition. Some people just naturally flow and tune into their strategy and authority. They learn through observation and body awareness, and they're guided by their own timing. And if that's you, trust that. This framework also isn't meant to give you a new set of rules. It's simply meant to be scaffolding for when your mind needs more structure while your body is learning how to lean into greater trust. These following 5 steps of my Alive deconditioning framework are here to support you, not limit you. They can give you something solid to lean on while going through your own deconditioning process, but where you can still walk your own deconditioning path at your own pace and in your own way. Every single part of human design comes back to 3 things: your type, your strategy, and your authority. These are the foundation of everything in the human design system. And so, if you focus on nothing else but these 3 things, you would still begin to decondition naturally. So, that's why step 1 of my framework is to anchor into your type, strategy, and authority. Your human design type shows how your energy wants to move. You'll be either a manifester, a projector, a reflector, a generator, or a manifesting generator. Your strategy keeps you in the right relationship with your natural timing. And your authority is your body's way of revealing your truth when life presents something to you. When you honor your type, strategy, and authority, you stop trying to manage your life through your mind and start allowing your true energy to lead. Conditioning can reveal itself when you override or mistrust your strategy and authority. And when you act from conditioning instead of alignment, you'll feel the not self theme of your type rise to the surface more often. Deconditioning begins first with awareness, not action, because you can't release what you haven't yet recognized in yourself. That's why step 2 in my deconditioning framework is to locate your conditioning patterns. Before trying to change anything, start by gently observing where conditioning shows up in your life. Some clues for where you can find this is by looking at certain aspects in your human design chart. Because conditioning doesn't just live in one part of your chart, it can weave itself through every layer of your chart. In your defined centers, in your open centers, in your channels and gates, and in your profile lines. Once you've learned to recognize where conditioning shows up in your life, the next step is to meet it softly, consistently, and without any pressure. That's why step 3 of my deconditioning framework is to invite simple, nourishing deconditioning practices that fit your life. The goal here isn't to overhaul your entire life overnight. The most common mistake people make here is assuming that deconditioning has to look super dramatic or super spiritual, such as long morning routines, strict meditations, or emotional breakthroughs that prove that you're making progress. But your body doesn't need long, involved rituals. It needs consistent rhythms that you keep returning to, because change happens not through intensity, but through being consistent. And what rewires your nervous system isn't force. It's the experience of returning to safety again and again in your body until your body finally believes it's possible to relax. Also, the deconditioning practices that truly transform are the ones you'll actually do. They should be simple enough to fit into your real life, especially on the days when life feels messy, chaotic, tiring, emotional, or uninspiring. For example, a single honest check in that you repeat every single day is way more powerful than a perfect practice that you abandon after 1 week. Deconditioning does not happen in your mind, it happens in your body. That's why step 4 of my deconditioning framework is to value your body's inner wisdom and signals. You have to feel your way through deconditioning. Your mind is always going to want to manage, analyze, and measure your progress, but your body already knows. It's been speaking to you all along through things like tension and ease, contraction and expansion, and restlessness and calm. Your body is your built-in authority in motion. It speaks to you through feelings long before thought ever arrives. And when something is correct for you, you'll feel your body naturally exhale. Your shoulders might soften, your breath might deepen, your system might relax into deeper trust. And when something isn't correct, you'll also feel it instantly, a tightening, a heaviness, a subtle resistance, or a desire to check out or rush ahead. And these sensations aren't flaws or failures, they're feedback. They are your body's way of saying you've stepped out of your natural flow. So, feeling safe in your body must always come before change. It's very difficult to integrate new patterns if your body and your nervous system are still braced for impact. Step 5 of my deconditioning framework is to embody your highest authentic self expression. Each defined and undefined center in your human design chart, each defined gate and channel, and each line of your profile carries a full range of expression. On one end is the conditioned expression, also called the shadow expression or the not self expression, which is how your energy moves when it's influenced by fear, pressure, or the need to prove your worth. On the other end is its natural expression, the same energy, only freed from resistance and expressed through greater authenticity. And next up will be a short note on the 7-year deconditioning process, how in the founder's original transmission, the 7 years was never meant to be a timeline, a test, or a competition, and how true deconditioning happens on your own timeline and in cycles. Hey, if you enjoyed the show, don't forget to head over to the Deconditioning Lab on Substack. Link is in the show notes. And follow the show so you can get notified when I drop a new episode. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope to see you again soon.